Okay guys, so I'm going to attempt to tell the story of how I decided and was able to move to the Philippines at a relatively young age. For those of you who don't know, I just turned 40 years old in August. So I decided, instead of just sitting and talking, I would take a little walk through the neighborhood. So you'll probably hear chickens and motorbikes and whatever, but that's the Philippines. So I guess it started back in about 2017 to 2018, somewhere in there. I bought my house for $63,000. Back then it was still a pretty good deal. It needed a little bit of work, but for the most part it really wasn't all that bad. I'll try to put in some pictures and different things to liven it up a little bit and give you kind of a visual aid. Like I said, I bought my house in 2017. I always considered it to be somewhat of an investment, because I knew it was worth more than what I paid for it even then. So I had just accepted a position as maintenance at a local nursing home. I had gotten tired of driving a truck, so I wanted somewhat of a more normal job. So I did that for a while, and then COVID happened. So in the healthcare industry, as most of you will remember, we were essential workers. So no time off, none of that kind of stuff, no unemployment, none of that, which was fine. And then about 6 months into it, they decided that they were going to mandate weekly testing. And for those of you who know me, you would probably guess that I would refuse that. And so myself and the other maintenance guy there, he was the supervisor, we decided to strike out on our own and start a construction company. So the construction company went really well. We were making good money. It was hard work, obviously, because, you know, construction, but it was okay. So we did that like 2 years, and then I decided to kind of give that up. The nursing home had gotten into kind of a bind to where the maintenance supervisor they had did a terrible job and was not within regulation on a lot of things. The inspection paperwork was all messed up. So the administrator at that time contacted me and asked me if I would come back, and I did. So I didn't sell out my portion of the construction company. I basically gave my partner all of my interest and said, you know, it's been good, here you go. So I went back to work as the maintenance supervisor and life safety manager at the nursing home, which was a good job. I really enjoyed it. But as you can imagine, it was a 120 bed facility, a huge building, 5 wings. So it was a lot to handle. It was just me and one other maintenance guy. also had to supervise laundry and housekeeping. So I had my hands full. But I would say somewhere around 2018, before COVID even, I saw a YouTube video randomly about someone who retired to the Philippines and how much they were living on. I think they were living on like 1,500 US, but you can do it on much less than that. Depends on your standard of living. So I decided at that time that that was going to be my goal. And I knew that my house would be a key component. So over the years, in my free time, I would work on the house a little bit at a time. I did a video on replacing the roof. I ended up putting new vinyl siding on, replacing the windows, new door, all new flooring, huge bathroom remodel. Basically rebuilt the house on the inside and outside. Even upgraded the electrical to 200 amp service and rewired it. So I knew I had a lot of equity. Then during COVID, and right at the tail end of COVID, as everyone knows, housing prices basically tripled. So I knew that was my opportunity. So in June of this year, I took vacation for an entire month and decided to come to the Philippines to check it out, mainly to make sure I could handle the heat. And honestly, it's not as bad as what I thought it was going to be. So I spent the month of June here and basically decided, yep, this is what I'm going to do. So I went home at the end of June and spent the next 3 months wrapping up projects on the house, getting it ready to sell. I listed it for sale and got an offer for full asking price, which was $160,000 in 12 days on the market. So then it took 35 days to close, and I got the money the day of the closing. So that evening I booked my plane ticket. I will go over in a separate video exactly what I do with that money to earn a living while I'm here, because obviously, you know, like $100,000 is not enough to retire at the age of 40 normally. But that's kind of the story of how I came here. I basically used what I knew, which was construction, to generate an opportunity. And trust me, I know I'm taking a risk, but I feel like even if everything falls apart, I'm young enough to go back to the States and start over if I needed to. But so far, so good. So kind of let me know in the comments if there are specific things that you guys would like to know, questions you might have, and I'll be sure to answer.